My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And today, we decided to take like a nice chill time. And this is a sort of like a spoilery episode, but it won't start as a spoiler episode for a new movie, which is on Netflix. Called Wild Sing, and it is sort of a satirical look at 90s idols. Where are they now? Comedy is the best way I can describe it.
Yeah.
And I went in only knowing the meme, like of I didn't want a preview or anything. Like I did my usual just do it blind thing that I do.
The meme that you saw was
the Oh Jung Se meme. Yeah, with like the emo hair and stuff.
With the hair.
Yeah, and I knew nothing else. I didn't even know who was in it except for him.
Did you see the like flash mob situation they did?
Yes,
for that too?
It was. But like I literally had no idea who was in the cast of this movie. So every single person showing up was a big surprise for me.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it going in, and I feel like I spent the first I don't know, maybe even 80% of this movie just going, what am I watching? The first 20 minutes for sure. I was like, what are we doing? What is the, because it's just like you said, satirical, I was like, are we being serious? Is it funny? Like, where are we right now? And then as it kind of goes, you're like, okay, this is clearly
satirical,
a comedy, but
this is not meant to be taken seriously at any stage.
Very much so. And I think that's part of the point of it, but I did feel like I spent probably 70 to 80% of it going, what am I watching? What are we doing right now? But I think that's kind of the point. Like, it's kind of like, what?
I had followed this super closely. They had released their the Triangle music video a month or whatever before they released it to theaters. I was on this. So I knew all about it, which means that I felt like I had already watched half the movie before.
Right.
So just saying, so I actually saw a comment that was like, it's just like the trailer. I'm like, it is.
It is.
That trailer is showing you most of what you're gonna get.
Now, I do see on my drama list that it is tagged as comedy and romance. That's a lie. If there's any romance in this, I missed it.
Yeah, there's no.
I can in the spoiler section, I'll say a little bit of something, but it's not that exciting. But it was a moment. There was a moment.
Yeah, but if you're going in thinking you're about to watch a rom-com, you aren't.
Nope.
Disabuse yourself of that notion. You're not going to be doing it. You're going to be spending almost 2 hours, an hour and 45 minutes of satire on idol culture is exactly what you're doing.
Watching a group of loser idols.
Yeah, you're just watching a bunch of losers be losers and just continue be losers the entire time.
And to ramp up their loseriness.
Yeah, they don't ever stop being losers. Just if you're looking for the redemption arc, no.
You know, Wonderfools, there was arcs.
Yeah, and they got a little bit less
development of the losers. This is these folks remain.
They're just
as they are.
They're just, with the exception of her, they're just losers the whole time. Don't even try. But here's the basic rundown before we get into the spoilery section of what this movie is about. So basically, it starts with a co-ed K-pop group called Triangle. I actually thought the way that the movie depicted their concept and stuff was very clever. I was yes, this feels like a real 90s K-pop group who were popular in the 90s, and they rose super quick, even though they had the shadiest company you can imagine. Obviously, they like rose up and they were at the peak of their popularity. They had just released their second single, and everyone was like, "Oh shit, we love it!" And then everything,
and they won their music show,
and so they were, and then it's like they get accused of doing drugs, but more importantly, they also were accused of plagiarism, and the whole thing falls apart. Their manager / company CEO runs away with all their money and leaves the country, and they're just sort of left in shambles. And then it rough cuts to 20 years later, where the leader of the group he's struggling. He's like doing like the radio DJ thing, but basically then gets fired because they're like, you're actually not popular enough to still be a radio DJ. And he's like, come on, man, like, please just give me this. And they're like, nobody knows who you are. Like, be gone. And then he meets up with the other male member of the group, who is somehow a worse loser than him, because he was the main rapper of the group who cannot rap and is the biggest himbo you've ever met in your entire life, which of course means Natalia was obsessed with his character because it was goofy. Also played by Taegu, who's just stop. And he's in a huge amounts of debt to this loan shark. So now they then have to go and convince the third member of their group, who is now married to a rich, like, chaebol that you never meet because he's not important. No. She's literally just waiting for him to die so she can inherit his money. Yeah, she's just, get it, girl. To reunite for a festival so that they can get paid and pay off this debt. And then they go on a road trip. Essentially, they go on a road trip to get to this festival, and that's the entirety of the plot of this movie. It takes place all within like 3 days. Like, it is ridiculous. Yeah. And it is sort of a send up of like 90s idol culture and even today celebrity culture in a weird sort of way. And it is ridiculous. And I'll be honest, like, I liked it more than I thought I would, but I also didn't think it was really gonna, because here's the thing. I find that a lot of Korean comedy movies are either really hit or miss with me. Like, sometimes it's like the humor is really, like, I'm just like, yeah, okay, we're having a good time. And then other times I'm like, not for me. This one was weirdly in the middle. Like, a lot of it, I was amused by.
Yeah.
But, like, it was never...
Lightly amused.
It never went too far into, like, sometimes there's, like, I just find it, like, some of the humor a little too crude. Sometimes for me personally, like, listen, I'm not going to tell anyone what they find funny. Yeah. Go nuts. But it never did that. Like, it never steered into,
it wasn't a lot
humor.
Of poop jokes.
Yeah, there wasn't any of that. And, like, the stuff that should have been like satirized, like, appropriative hairstyles stuff. It was obviously ridiculous that they were doing this, and it was made ridiculous. But like, a lot of the humor I thought was really good. Like, there was this gag involving like a truck driver who couldn't remember the name of their group.
Xylophone?
No, it was like, tambourine. Like, I was
tambourine and xylophone. He says xylophone.
Tambourine and xylophone. Like, it was a good bit. Like, it's a good bit.
Yeah. When there was a bit, and sometimes they would play a bit a few times. I'm not saying that every bit hit with me, but when there was actually a bit, like, I was having fun with whatever bit it was.
Yeah. And definitely the the initial part when they're forming the group and becoming famous and stuff, and like they do a sort of a montage of all the different shows that they went on. And it felt very like if you were a second gen K-pop stan, like that is very, the costumes and the everything, it felt very, you were like, yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what that's
I
like.
have definitely seen this stage
The
before.
leader character's hair.
Oh my god. I was like, Turbo, are you back? Are you back?
Yeah.
And like I will say, like the performances were really good. I gotta say, like Oh Jung-se's character in this plays like a rival, in air quotes, singer, turned sort of friend, and he's so good in this. Like
He steals the
like,
show.
Frankly, I wish the show had been about him because like this movie, like anytime he was in a scene, the scene improved like 600% because he was just doing the most, really.
So probably spoiler warning from now on.
Yeah. We're gonna spoiler it up going forward. So okay. So I gotta talk about Oh Jung-se because when he first shows up in the 90s with his stupid emo fringe and like his ballad singing and like being really
just sitting there singing.
And he's the one with the drug problem, which is the funniest part, where he does drugs and then gets naked, and that's what like brings
accidentally. It's not like he
like it's like a one-time thing and it ruins his whole life.
Yeah, like, and it also takes them down with him, like because they were just there, you know. And then he does like a real turn, so the next time you see him 20 years later, he's like a hunter that's like
a wildlife
control hunter who like drives like a Jeep, and he's like grizzled and has like a huge beard and looks insane. And I was like, this movie should be about him, like, because this is hilarious. And so like part of the film just sort of follows him on the same adventure of also trying to get a comeback as a singer, but just looking like a guy who spent every day in the sun and the woods for the past 20 years instead of being a ballad singer, pretty boy. But then the other half, they're on their way. They're on their way to this festival, okay? They're going to have their comeback. They finally convinced, you know, the female singer to join them and everything. And they then run into their old CEO who's pretending, and I thought this was actually really funny if you know the history of Argentina in any sort of way globally, who's now pretending that he's Argentinian and doesn't speak Korean, only speaks Spanish. And then
they're calling his role a cameo.
I know, he's in
on MBL.
He's in like a third of the movie. I'm not entirely sure what cameo means anymore.
Like, I'll give you Gong Myung having a cameo.
Yeah, that was a cameo. But Shin Ha-kyung was not a cameo. He was in a large portion of this movie because they almost murder him by accident.
He did,
multiple times.
Like 15 minutes and then the last like hour of the like
he's just there. He's like unconscious in the back of their car. And like they're being chased by the police who are like, why are you trying to kill this foreigner? What did he do to you? And it's just like, why did they call him a cameo? I'm still confused.
Well, so I'm saying this is MDL. So like someone plunked that in. I'm just saying that that's silly that was that way.
I wonder if that was like put in before, you know,
right.
Maybe it was put in by the same person who thinks it's a romance.
Maybe.
True. You know,
I gotta who's the
okay. I gotta say the romance
tell
part.
me the romance part.
Okay, whenever they're doing the shenanigan of everyone eventually hops into the Jeep. Or it might have even been the cop car. But anyway, you finally have the CEO guy, conscious, speaking Korean, not pretending to be Argentinian anymore. And he's sitting in the backseat with everybody else. But on his lap is Oh Jung-se's character.
Oh, okay. Like, listen.
And they have a moment, and it was just really funny.
Which
and it
would
was
be
very,
a
very
good bit.
passing. It wasn't a big deal, but it was a bit.
Yeah.
And it was very short.
And those two actors
and
would
I thought
do a
it
good
was
bit.
so funny. Yeah. So like, it really, same thing. Like the CEO character, not when he was being unconscious, but when he was talking, he was always making the scene like way more interesting. Because you're like, what is he doing? Because he's doing something, some shenanigan.
Well, I wish that one thing that I kind of wished in it that they had, because they had sort of the bit with him where she kept saying, like, he's making eye contact with me. And then when you'd go to him, I wish that they had done a thing where it was like, you know, he would look up and like close his eyes or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like, just,
no, I felt like they were building up to it and then they never did.
Yeah. Like it kept feeling like that was coming and it didn't, you know. So, like, I think that would have added to that bit a little bit. But it was very fun. She's like, no, he opened his eyes. We made eye contact. And then he pretended to be asleep again. Like, what are we doing?
And they're just like, he was good. Like, he was a good... The little bits that they did in this movie were so good. It's just like...
And it is a lot of slapstick. And I will say a lot of times it was a bit much. But I will say, when they were taking the CEO... like, he was unconscious. He was pretending to be dead or whatever. And they're trying to carry him up the side of this
that was a good bit.
And they dropped him like 3 to 4
so
times.
many times.
And he rolled down different ways. And I don't even know if it was like really him or if it was a stunt double. Like, I don't know. But whoever was doing it, the way he would flop around was really, really
It was
funny.
good.
Like,
it was like
and then
good stunt work, to be honest.
Sometimes the slapstick was a bit much, but that was a good bit. Like, that was pretty good.
Like, the line after that where they're like, well, maybe we did kill him now. Like, maybe all the dropping him down killed him. Like, and you're like, oh, no.
The bit with the truck driver that got me so much wasn't even the initial bit of the truck driver. So the truck driver comes in, he hits their car, they're like hiding this guy's body. And then they're like, the truck driver's like, oh, we should like exchange insurance. And they're like, no, like, we're just gonna let you go. And he's like, oh, you guys, you're so kind. I'm gonna go on the internet and tell everyone how kind you are. And they're like, yeah, don't forget, like, tell everyone how kind Triangle is. Like, you should all stand Triangle again. He's like, I'm gonna do it. And then after the concert, it actually cuts back to the truck driver. And he's like, and it cuts back to him going, oh, you're such good people, Tambourine. And I lost it. I was like, yes! Like, this is such a good bit. Funniest bit of the movie for me. Like, I was like, that's the kind of humor I love.
Because of the way, like, the vibe of the opening of the show and the way it starts, I wasn't 100% certain that we weren't going to actually have a dead CEO, that this wasn't going to be a bit of a like weekend at Bernie's. I thought when that truck driver came in, I thought he was going to literally drive his body and they were going to be fine because it was like, oh, you killed him. Like, and then they were just like, oh, whoops. Like, so.
But no, this is definitely not like that sort of movie. Like, everyone ends up fine at the end, sort of thing.
But then there's another bit with looking for Kang Ki-young, his character.
Mm-hmm. He almost dies too. He's getting knocked out. Like,
with the whole bit of like went back in the day, he was kind of like an invisible-ish member
of like a less popular group,
and they did not care about him at all. And so then somehow he got enough, like present day, he got enough commercials and notoriety that like he's making a fair bit of money and getting a lot of airtime with variety shows, to where he's definitely the one with more power. I'm not sure he has any authority, but he definitely has more popularity. And he's trying to rub it in their faces a little bit. And so when the leader character is really trying to convince him, like, please, man, like, we do care about you. You could tell he's like getting convinced. And then the other two members are like, who's this dude?
I know, like,
But he's like, shut up, please, shut up.
Like, this movie is really comprised of really good bits, that,
and then in between it's
fine.
Yeah.
You know? But another really good bit that I loved is you spend some time like in the rich people's household with Park Ji-hyun's character, whose mother-in-law lives elsewhere, but like is always being carried around on like an iPad by like a manservant who's just doing the most. This actor's doing the most like body work you can imagine. And then her just being like, this is so stupid. This is so, like, it's fine. I just gotta wait it out and this money's mine. Like, I just gotta wait out this crazy lady. And the mother-in-law was played by Park Hae-mi, and she was killing it as just like a talking head in an iPad. Like, so funny. And like there's all these really good bits that then it's like the connection between all of the bits felt a little weak, but when the bits were really good, they were like really good. So I feel like this movie could have been really excellent if maybe like it had been like rewritten a few times, maybe like edited a bit differently, because there's a lot going on that I think worked super well, like the dedication to like the authenticity of like the era style outfits,
like that all worked,
and like the songs sounded exactly like what those songs would sound like
their chemistry together, the three for Triangle was fantastic. Like they worked well together. I feel like almost we just didn't get to see enough of that or something. Like there was a lot of like them on their own bits and stuff, and it's like get them back together, getting snarky with each other. Like I like that part.
And so like I saw that someone had commented that they felt like it was a bit of a lost opportunity to see them like practicing to get ready for the festival thing together and having the chemistry like struggling together rather than they were struggling all independently. And then you're on this road trip for like a fair bit to where you could have dedicated some of that time to
like
finding their voice together
and finally,
again,
like working out their clear interpersonal issues that they had for 20 years with each other.
I felt like
even if they were bickering the whole time, it would have been entertaining. You know, like there would have been more to it rather than we're still out in the woods. It's like we spent a lot of time out in the woods.
More time on the road trip. You know what I mean? Like if it had, like there was a pacing problem, and it was like they were trying to tell all the bits of the story, but without
the connected tissue
somewhere, right? And I think so. Like if it had been, 15 minutes at the beginning, 15 minutes at the end, and all the middle chunk was this road trip where you could have had more connection between them, them stopping, maybe it's a longer road trip and they have to like stop at, they're stopping at stations on roadside and practicing their choreography together or something, like just something. But it felt like, okay, now we're doing this movie and then we're doing this. It was almost like episodes or something, and you're like, this is a movie. We should just have one story.
The other thing that I thought sort of unnecessary was I still don't understand why we had the bit with like the loan sharks, because there was no urgency after that. It's like they kind of forgot, like, oh, this guy owes $30,000 to this guy. Like it was just like, and everything turned out like there's no way that's what they got paid for this festival performance. Like, did she just pay it off for him? Like that's what I assume. Yeah, but it's like they could have just done that from the beginning. There was no reason to.
It feels like what might have worked better, again, as like adding the bits in and stuff, if that had been added into the road trip chase, there's the cops and then there's the loan sharks, and then like the cops take the loan sharks or something, you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like there should have been this like connection
pile on of like, chase upon chase upon chase kind of situation. Would have added to that and connected them in more.
It's sort of a lost opportunity vibe sometimes,
And I'm not saying I needed a perfect bow with like everyone getting whatever dream totally 100% accomplished, but like at least they did the stage performance together, which I guess was kind of like the major goal. But and it was funny that after that, like she's like, "Peace, I'm gonna go still try to get money out of this Chaebol family," but then how she ended up being like essentially their manager
CEO,
producer person to where, you know, footing the bill and telling them what to do. And then Oh Jung-se's character
joining
becoming
the third
like
member
the
of
green
Triangle.
character.
No,
Yeah.
like, and that concert where they have Oh Jung-se come out and just start vomiting on. I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
And that was, you know, like, we didn't have bathroom humor, and then like, how many times did we have to watch him? Fake throw up. Like,
and it's like, and I get it for like shock value. Like, it, you know, it does make sense for his character where everything goes wrong for him at all times. So that I understand. But I was like, my God.
Well, I was kind of like, it also would have made a little bit more sense to me if there was a reason he was throwing up. Like, I understand he was running and all this stuff, but like, nothing necessitated.
Like, there wasn't like a scene of him eating anything to like, you know, like there could have easily been like
he could have passed out instead. Like that would have.
Like, there was no fault. Like, you know, there was no Chekhov's gun here. Like, there was nothing that there was a literal gun, but there was no like Chekhov's gun.
It's not like they were like eating berries in the woods or something.
There was no setup for this payoff, so it just felt weird.
Yeah.
If they had made him gag like once, I'm like, okay, overexertion, gotcha.
Yeah.
And
like if he runs up the stage and he's like, you know, he's like, like, you know, that's one thing.
And then he loses
like,
it.
Or if they had set us up in the initial sections, you know, 20 years ago and shown us that he had nerves or something like that. He did his interview and then turned around and puked in a wastebasket or
there
something.
needed to be a setup.
We know that he has a problem this way or something. It just kind of came out of nowhere.
There was a payoff with no setup, so it just felt weird.
Yeah.
Well, when it's like 6 to 9 times of watching him fake throw up, it's like, okay, I got it. You know, it's ruined. I see he messed up.
Yeah.
Like this movie was kind of frustrating though, because like it had so many good things working for it, and it just seems like the execution just wasn't quite there, which doesn't mean that it's not that it's not watchable. Like, it's totally watchable, but I don't see a world in which this becomes anyone's favorite movie.
And like, I mean, if you are a huge stan of one of these actors, like
they're all doing incredible work in this film. Like they're all really, their acting is not the problem here. Like, it's not good enough to be like, wow, that was great, that's gonna be my favorite movie. But it's also not bad enough to be like, oh, that was terrible, I loved it, it was so bad. So it's in like a weird like middle place where it's like, that was a totally fine 2 hours that I spent watching this movie, the hour and 45 minutes. Like, that was a totally adequate time that I spent. Like, it's, you know, not terrible. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. It's a perfectly watchable movie. It's sort of like delivered its initial premise fine. I just wish that it had done a little bit, like, I think the script just needed to be retooled, because like the cast that they had was incredible and like was really delivering more than the script had to offer at every moment. And so it's like, even like the little mini side characters that would show up, like the cops and, you know, like the mother-in-law and the servants and like the loan shark and everything, they're all delivering. Like, even you know, Gam Young, who's in one scene, he has 2 lines, was doing the most, you know, was like really like setting the scene.
The Pogo Girls.
The Pogo Girl. It
was amazing.
Everyone was doing such good work for what was essentially a pretty mediocre overall script.
Yeah.
And it's like, and while some bits were very funny and very well done, like, that can't, you need something to glue the bits together that this just wasn't delivering.
And I feel like the bits were good, but I wasn't, like, I think the first time that I like laughed out loud was the pogo stick girl,
because it was just so like, of course.
And then he was like, no, absolutely not, tell me. And they just turned around and pogoed away.
Like, there's like, clearly someone working on this did have really good comedic like sensibilities.
Sometimes it felt like it was just like visual jokes though, rather than like timing jokes. Some of them weren't really like comedic timing. which is fine. Like visual gags are good too, but like,
and I don't know. Like that truck, I'm still thinking about the truck gag because I just thought that was such a good setup where he's like, I'm gonna tell the internet how nice you are. Like the internet's gonna love you. You're so kind to me, a novice truck driver. And then payoff, getting it wrong. Like,
okay, there was another setup too. So as far as the two, like there was the producer and then like the assistant producer of the Expo festival thing, and they're like. And the assistant producer chick, like she was really nice, but she was like, "Your performance doesn't even matter. You must say this exact
about the Expo.
Promotional line,
the Expo." And they're like, "Yeah, we got it. We're gonna say that," and they fuck it up, and that's like that's a good bit, you know, and like, and that's what, and that having watched how incompetent they are. Of course, they weren't going to say the one thing they had to say. Like, and we as an audience knows that, and they delivered it exactly as you would want them to, right? And it's like, and they did put on a good show regardless.
They did. And I thought it was so, I mean, there's like, it's so sweet that like, they do actually have fans who are there.
Yeah, that was
in the back with their little three-colored balloons and stuff, and they're like, you know, and the one I did have like a heartwarming moment in it with the one fan was holding a sign that the translation on it said something like together again or something, we're one again, or we're a triangle connected again, or something, and it was just like, oh, that's sweet. Like they're, and they all start crying on the stage because it's like, oh, people do remember us, and it's like, oh, but it didn't feel like they didn't.
It didn't feel earned because like, they didn't show all the fans abandoning them. It just rough cut to 20 years later. So it's like this movie had payoffs for things that they didn't properly set up, and so it just felt a little unsatisfying as a viewer. And
and another thing I was going to mention was cringe. Now, was it to the level like I couldn't watch it at all? No. But it's like when you watch The Office.
And you're just like, oh no.
And you know, you're used to a lot of it. And then every once in a blue moon, there was like an extra episode where it was like, it's hard to watch. Like some of them were just tougher.
Where you're just like, Michael
there
Scott,
were moments.
Please don't do this. Yeah.
There were moments like, I don't remember if it was involving the cops, like things I'm like, don't you dare.
Don't do it. Don't
mess up that bad.
No, I like, I was watching.
You guys are going to forget to say that thing, whatever.
You know, I was watching on my phone, and you can like, you know, when you're on your phone or your iPad or whatever, you can change the speed. So like, I was like, no, we're doing an episode. I can't like not watch this. I can't close my eyes.
I can't skip this scene.
So I was like popping it up to like 1.5 times speed. Like, okay.
I can at least make this cringe get over quicker. Yeah. We've all been there. And
it wasn't like a huge percentage of the movie, but it would pop up sometimes. And it was just like, ooh.
Like a lot of the embarrassment is mostly like, wow, look at how ridiculous we were in the 90s. Like that's, you know, like in the turn of the century, like late 90s, early 2000s, like we were really doing that.
Oh, I think I remember what I really cringed hard at. It was present day rapper character when he's being an insurance salesman.
Yes.
And he's trying to sell it, whatever. And then he thought that the guy that he was selling to had gone to the bathroom, and the guy hadn't gone anywhere. And so he was bad mouthing this guy like right in front. I was like, ooh, like,
it's a real, he's right behind me, isn't he? Sort of.
It was so bad. I was like, oh, buddy. I think his character was really good at making me cringe a fair bit, because he was just biffing it.
So dumb, and he's bad at everything, and which I genuinely find funny, as like just him playing that character is really funny to me.
Well, especially when
and like doing it so well.
Like at the end, during the end credits, you get the original music video of Triangle and their song and everything, and I'm like, it's a video, he's taegoing very well, and he's, winking at the camera, and he's looking all fine and everything. And then you're like, wait, how did he go from this in the video to like nobody talks to him? He has no real stands. He can't get interviewed. They're like, and that was triangle. And he's like, I didn't get to talk. And they're like, nobody cares. Like, I'm like, he in the video,
he would have been someone's favorite member.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
yeah,
people would have enjoyed his presence, but yeah. I would have liked to know the story of how did he become the, and the rest member of this group. Like,
the bonus member, the fellow member. I think I was struggling to see, like, I think I would probably recommend this to people, but only people that I knew cared enough about old school K-pop to find enough charm in that alone to kind of carry you through.
Yeah.
Because, like, as an example, like, I showed the trailer to my husband. I didn't really figure he'd be interested, but I was like offering, like, do you want to watch this with me? And he said, I just don't think I know. He didn't know quite enough about old school K-pop stuff to find the charm in that. Which, like,
that's understandable.
You have to find enough value in that.
Yeah, like,
to, like,
even if you just have like a passing knowledge of it, like, you'll be fine. Like, it's not like it's required to understand the plot. Like, just the knowing that it existed, that, like, these ridiculous boy bands were a thing.
Well, and I was kind of saying, I was explaining to him, it's just like any other Western movie, even like whatever they're doing a send up about, you have to know just enough to, like, find it charming to spend time watching it. You know what I mean?
Otherwise it just feels like, what am I doing here?
Right. Like
what is the point?
For instance, so the things that I thought were charming about it were like, ooh, the balloon thing. Like, and of course, these are easy things that, of course, they did these. It's not like, ooh, an impressive that they did balloons. Of course, that was like a big deal. Or, oh, when they were doing the stage cuts, so the different
between the outfits.
When they were flipping outfits.
That was really well edited.
Debut stage thing.
Yeah.
And that's very much something. But when it was like, they did have an outfit for a second that had the
giant
white gloves, the big white gloves. And I was like, oh, like, so when they were pulling in some of that, or, oh, here he's wearing a big baggy overall situation, like,
where it's like, if you weren't aware of, like, you would just be like, oh, goofy outfit. But if you are aware, you're like, I see what you did there.
It's like, I see it. Or some of the dance moves, it's like, I've seen these.
Yeah, like, I definitely had a moment where we were watching it, and, like, where I thought, oh yeah, like, if Card had debuted a decade earlier, this is how they would have been styled. 100%.
Yeah.
Like, this would have been absolutely. So, but also, again, that's one of those missed opportunities. Knowing some of the stuff that Card has gone through with being a co-ed group, where people are like, oh, but, like, aren't there romances? Or, you have to have, like, that they didn't sort of have a thing where it was like that they were trying to, like, set this up as a love triangle or something in their promos and stuff.
And then she would just, like, beat him up behind
the
scenes.
Slice.
Next slice.
Yeah. See, and you have to be familiar with Card to get that reference. Dang. Next slice. Like, I feel like there's a lot of good material here. It just wasn't sort of taken to its potential,
Now, I will say, if you passively watch this, like, turn it on in the background for just vibes, you're probably gonna be
be like, oh, that was fun. And that's what I thought after finishing it. I was like, oh, that was fun. Like, because it was. Like, it was, like, it was fun. It was well filmed. Like, it was fun.
I did chuckle, like, at the end, the way they did kind of, shove him into the group instead of her.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm like,
and he
hell
was keeping his long hair and stuff. Like,
the beard.
He
like,
still
yeah.
You
you still
funny.
look like the Geico caveman having a good time. Like, yes. we're having fun.
And he kept doing well, I love you, like, finger gun
Yeah.
thing. His character was so consistent, like, the whole time.
Yeah.
It was
Yep.
so good. And it was just like, it had so many things that should have gone better for it, I think. Not to say that
Right.
it's bad. Like, we're not saying this is a bad movie. It was
Just
an adequate film.
the connective tissue, if they had just, if it was
Yeah.
stronger, it really would
Yeah.
be a movie that I'd be like, yeah,
I just think they needed a few
that's a
more
fun
drafts.
movie.
I think they needed a few more drafts on the script to like really tighten it up and make just change a few things.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, there are other Korean movies I have thought similarly about.
Yeah.
And they typically are the comedy ones.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's usually like, oh, sometimes it feels like, oh, the comedy is the point. It's definitely not, the story is
yeah.
not the point.
So they sort of, avoid the story a little bit. And you're like, no, I think we should probably like, you need
Still
the
tell
story,
the story
to sell the comedy, not the other way around. The comedy shouldn't be selling the story. And I have the same problem with like, Western comedies too. Like they're really hit or miss with me. Because sometimes I feel like if we lean too far into like, okay, people are going to see this because Seth Rogen's in it or whatever. And it's like, and all we have is a bit after bit. It's like why I don't get Superbad. The movie Superbad. I'm like, this just feels like a bunch of bits that dudes find funny, but like the overall, like the connective tissue is a little lacking because they're relying so heavily on star power and comedy bits. And
I think I'm just used to, and maybe it's because I watch enough movies too, but like, I'm used to things that are either story driven or character driven, and they don't have, it's a sliding scale.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like strictly one or the other, but I'm so used to at least leaning towards one.
Yeah. Cause there was no character growth.
When you watch a show or a movie or from anywhere that doesn't, we're not feeling the characters and we're not feeling the story. And sometimes it's like, ooh, atmosphere is the point.
Yeah.
Sometimes something else is the point. So sometimes I think for comedies, it's like the comedy is the bits are the point. And I'm like, okay, sometimes, but you still got to sell me something.
Yeah, I still need to care about these characters or care about the story that's happening. And it's like, these characters didn't really have a growth arc in any... They're the exact same people at the end that they were at the beginning. Like, it's not like they learned any lessons from their previous life. And it's like, the story was simply adequate because it's basically they go from point A to point B and have a concert. Like, they don't even get the money back from the CEO. Like, it's literally like, there's no emphasis put on a satisfying conclusion or anything. It's just like, and they did the concert. I'm like, well, I always knew they were going to do that. That's the whole premise.
Yes.
Like, but they really didn't have that much hardship besides almost killing a guy and running away from the cops. But like, that was even like, there was no repercussions for anything they did.
Well, and even
it was bizarre.
Like how bad things were for the guys. Like, they weren't like living in slums or, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like, oh, they hit rock bottom. They were just kind of average Joes who had some money trouble.
You know? She was killing it. She was killing it.
She was like, doing great.
Fuck all y'all. Like, I became a gold digger and I am very successful at digging that gold. Don't you worry, your little heads. And I'm just like, yes, girl. Yes, queen. Get that money from that man. Hell yes. That man we never meet. I feel like we should have met him. Just, just as even like
it would have been a funny cameo.
Something.
Someone ridiculous. Like, just, that would have been maybe on another iPad. Yeah. Like, that would have been funny. But
that would. Yeah, you see the little boy like with a little like a Samsung fold out phone, you know, talking to the dad or something. Like something funny.
Well, like, it's, the bits were good, but they needed more.
Like, did I enjoy them
Yeah.
stuffing the character into a trash can over this guy's head and just throwing him down the stairs in order to get on the stage instead of him?
Of course.
It's funny. Like, some of the stuff is hilarious. Sometimes it's like, do we need to be in the forest for 15 minutes?
No, we
we
probably
don't
don't.
really need to do that.
I did
And I will say,
aspect of it where it was like, they ran him off the road, then they're trying to and then he escapes, and then Oh Jung-se's character thinks he shot him. Like it was just sort of like, oh, okay, now everybody thinks they killed him. Like, it's just, death after death that this man is like somehow miraculously avoiding. But like,
he's eternal.
Yeah.
But like, it was well acted and well filmed, and it's like, even though I think the script could have used some work, it wasn't a bad waste of an hour and 45 minutes that I watched it this morning because I was like, I'm gonna watch it as close to the recording as possible, which is a thing I do, which is only ever occasionally not worked out for me. But no, like, I think this is a totally adequate film. I don't think this is not going to go on the annals of our favorite movies here at the Noonas. I don't think
it's a film, and we watched it. Like, okay.
And I think that a lot of people would have a good time with it, but I don't think many people. I could be wrong. I'm often am, but I just feel like not many people are going to be like, "Wow, that was a great use of my. That was great. Loved it." I'm sure there are.
I think I'm not saying you need the K-pop knowledge.
Mm-hmm. I think it would enhance it.
I'm just saying. So even someone, a South Korean person who has enough passing just K-pop back then existed.
Mm-hmm.
They know they know enough just environmentally.
Yeah.
For them, like, that might be enough to like think this is funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because they remember when the balloons were a thing. Like, they were there because that was just around. But like, international fan wise, it's good to have a little bit of passing knowledge just to make it interesting enough. Because I do think if you're watching this just as like, I'm just going to turn on a Korean movie, you might think it's funny. But you might. I still think the nostalgic charm is not going to be working for you.
And like, if you have zero K-pop knowledge and like Korean sort of context for it, you're going to be like, what do you mean he smoked a joint and his life was over? What do you mean they, had a party? They were at a party and now they're like, what do you mean? And it's like, no, that's the kind of thing that actually destroys people's careers.
That was the most realistic part of this whole thing, really.
Well, that and the CEO,
or the CEO running off with
money. Like that. Also very realistic for the era and today.
Happening today too.
I don't know. Like, just Google what's happening to the these days, and you will find out that things stay the same. But I think it's a perfectly adequate movie. I think a lot of people would enjoy it well enough.
I think you do have to be okay with like slapstick comedy. Like, you have to be pretty good with comedy.
You have to be in the mood for a comedy. Like, don't go into this thinking you're getting a mellow or
don't believe the romance tag. Don't believe it. You're not going to be getting it
unless you get to that one moment,
one quick moment where maybe there was a little. Listen, as we always say,
they made eye contact.
As we always say here, there's always old man Yowie for those with hearts that are open and eyes that are open.
Yeah,
because I think it was the moment that Oh Jung-se's character was like starting to practice his song again, like, and he was like in the guy's face, and then he just kind of like looked at him like admiringly for a second. I just thought it was really funny.
Yeah, like, and it has really good performances, and I don't mean necessarily musically. I mean just acting wise, the performances are really good. So there are things that make this a good watch. It's just not a great watch, if in my personal opinion. And you're free to disagree with me.
There was some missed opportunity.
Yeah.
I wish it was better personally. But these are our personal opinions, man. If you love the movie, that's great. I would love to hear from you in whatever comment section you find yourself in, what you loved about it. Because, like, listen, we all like different things, and that's something that we really embrace and love here on the Noonas. So, if you disagree with us, that's great. we would love to hear why. So please let us know. But anyway, thank you for hanging out with us. And, you know, if when you're done leaving comments, if you want to check out more episodes, you can find us in audio form, which is where most people find us, I'm going to be honest, on various podcast platforms, your Spotify's, your iTunes, your whatever. Google, does Google still have one? I don't know what we're up to.
I don't know.
We put it in our service just sends it out to all the
Everywhere
places
you
of the
can.
world. You know, we give them money, they send out our podcast places. You know how these things work. But if you want a video situation, we also have video on YouTube. So you can check that out there. And as always, if you want links to what we talk about, you can go to our website, certifiednoonas.com, where every single episode has a post. And that will have links. And you can also listen to or watch the episodes there as well. And if you want to support this podcast, like the incredible people who do, you can go to patreon.com/certifiednoonas and join the Found family. They are our little family on the web who've been supporting us for almost 8 years now, and we love them. They're the best. And we do occasional little mini episodes for them over there, and we really love that they care enough about us to put money in our little digital chip jar over there at Patreon. Anyway, we hope you have a fantastic week. We'll be back next week with something pretty different from this. We're bringing back an old favorite concept for next week. But anyway, we hope you have a fantastic week. Wash your hands, wear a mask, and as always, keep enjoying Asian entertainment. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.